Yes, I believe you can see. I believe you can see this information here. Of course, this program is funded by Edify Uganda with the help of the ITAU and the Christian School Owners Association. Of course, this is History Senior 2 by me, Teacher Busuulwa Joseph. Here we are going to look at, as I've told you, a moment, please, a moment. A moment. Yeah, we have already seen this information here. Okay. Yes, so we are going to look at so we are going to look at religious wars in Buganda, as I've already told you, religious wars in Buganda, and we need to know what is all about the religious wars in Buganda. What is all about that? Of course, these were wars, okay, briefly before I come over to you, because I know some of you have got some information here. These were wars, okay, that were fought by the different groups of people in Uganda here, the different tribes and the different religions. Wars between the Protestants, the Catholics, the traditionalists, and the Muslims. You understand? So these are what we refer to as the religious wars in Uganda. Sometimes these wars are referred to as the Waingereza wa Fransa. The Waingereza wa Fransa wars. Simply because the Wafransa were the Catholics and the Waingereza were the Protestants, meaning that was between the Catholics and the Protestants. But again, there is that element of other groups that were part of these wars. The Africans or the traditionalists. Then we've also talked about the Muslims. They were all part of these wars. We are going to religious wars. Now I think you can see that image there. There is an image I've tried to bring on your screen or on the screen there. So we are seeing people fighting. Okay, these are pain. These were just painted. Okay, and we are seeing people fighting. I can see someone has got a gun, then someone also has an arrow, then others have got swords. So I think you can see different groups of people fighting, okay? And we have already said, of course, these are the wars we are trying to look at. I've given you this information at the beginning, that there are a series of wars or conflicts among different religious groups in Uganda, such as the traditionalists, Muslims, Protestants, and the Catholics, okay? I've also given you this information that they sometimes referred to as religious confusion at the courtyard or palace of the king. Okay, in most cases, there were the Waingereza and the Wafransa, or the Protestants and the Catholics fought so much before the king. Each and every group wanted to win sympathy from the king. You understand it? The king of Uganda, of course. That is why we are referring to them as in a confusion in the courtyard or palace of the king. So we are also saying here that there are sometimes referred to as the Waingereza wa Fransa wars that took place between 1885 and 1890. 1885, after the killing of Bishop Huntington on the orders of Mwanga. Okay, all right. Now, from there, we are now going to look at the causes of the religious wars in Uganda. Okay, these people, teacher, okay, from the church, teacher, I have just joined. Has the lesson? Of course, the lesson has started. Someone is asking us, the lesson has it started already? Yeah, we are actually in a lesson. Yes. Now we are going to look at the causes of the religious wars in Uganda. Now, before I try to give you what I have prepared. May I know whether some people have got some of the reasons as to why different groups of people were fighting in Uganda, why different religions were fighting in Uganda? In other words, the causes of these wars. If someone has, okay, I have a hand from, I think, Ugo Jim. If I'm pronouncing it wrongly, I'm sorry. You can unmute yourself.
They wanted to gain sympathy from the king of Uganda.
Yes, thank you so much. Thank you so much. That is one of the points we are looking at. They wanted to, again, to get sympathy from the king of Uganda. True. Thank you so much. I have Shina. You can unmute and contribute.
Misunderstandings between religious groups.
Misunderstandings between the different religious groups. Okay, misunderstandings between the different religious groups. What is the cause of the misunderstandings? That is where we are. What was or what caused the misunderstandings? Okay. Okay, someone is actually impatient here, is asking the teacher, are you going to post this work in the Google Classroom? Yes, the notes are coming. Don't worry about this. I will be posting the notes. I will be uploading the notes. Okay. And someone else was also asking, teacher, will the notes be put in the Google Classroom? Yes, I will put the notes there. I will upload the notes. Don't worry about that. Okay. I have Jovia. Jovia, please unmute.
Traditionalists hated the Christians.
Traditionalists, sorry, threatened. Come again.
Hated the Christians.
Oh, okay. Thank you for that. Traditionalists hated the Christians. There was that hate between the converts and the traditionalists. Yes, there was that hate between the converts and the traditionalists, and the converts could look at themselves as pure people, as godly people, and then the traditionalists as satanic. You understand? And at the end of the day, these two groups had to fight. Thank you so much. Maria, you can unmute yourself.
Teacher, the death of Mutesa I in 1884 left a power vacuum in Buganda's politics, laying ground for religious wars.
Yes, thank you so much. Thank you. That is a very wonderful point. The death of Mutesa the first in 1884 indeed left a power vacuum. And when Mwanga came in, of course, Mwanga was not a diplomat the way Mutesa was. And then Mwanga, well, he was unpredictable. That is why you saw him ordering the murder of Bishop Huntington in 1885. Thank you for that contribution. I have Ashley. Ashley?
Yes, teacher. Christians do not want to be dominated by the Muslims, and also the Muslims are also unwilling. Therefore, they considered either group to be pagans.
Okay, I've got your point. Thank you, Ashley. We are looking at the Christians and the Muslims. You understand? The Christians could not allow to be under the dominance of the Muslims, and likewise the Muslims couldn't also allow to be under the domination of the what? Of the Christians. At the end of the day, these two groups had to fight each other. You understand? The Christians ganged against the Muslims, then the Muslims went to Bunyoro, then again the Muslims reorganized themselves from Bunyoro, came back to Buganda here. You understand? They were fighting and all that. So either group never wanted to be under the other. Thank you for that contribution. I have Noelin, you can, yes.
Yes, teacher. I think like the Catholics and the Anglicans or Protestants struggled for political control. The king is God. So like it's brought hatred between the two religions. So the religious laws came about.
Yes, thank you, thank you. They were all fighting for political power. Like the Protestants wanted to you know, wanted to lead, wanted to have the political positions, and at the same time, the Catholics also wanted to have high political positions. So the two groups were fighting, and that is why I told you that the two groups wanted sympathy from the king. You see, and at the end of the day, they talked evil about each other, which led to these wars. Thank you for that. I have Nachi Rihanna, Rahma. Rahma, please unmute yourself.
Thank you, teacher. I think the Muslims wanted to introduce their Islamic ways, such as Sharia law.
The Muslims wanted to introduce their culture against the African culture. That is also true, and Africans never wanted, of course, to lose their culture to be washed away. That is why they kept on fighting. Okay, thank you for that. I have Jovia. Jovia, you can unmute.
The death of Mutesa I in 1884 created a political vacuum in Uganda.
Yes, thank you for that. Yes, the death of Mutesa created a political vacuum. Thank you. I have Vivian.
I think it's because of the traditional hostility of the Muslims towards the Christians.
Traditional, sorry, I've not got the point very well.
Because of traditional hostility of Muslims towards the Christians.
Okay, thank you for that hostility of the Muslims against the Christians. Hostility, yes, that one is also a part of the point. Then Maria, you can unmute.
Teacher, Kabaka Mwanga was also weak-minded, brutal, and emotional. Hence, he fueled the conflicts among the various religious groups, leading to wars.
Okay, yes, but when you talk about weak-minded, I don't think he was weak-minded. Only that we can say he was unpredictable, you know.
He was now.
His character. He was not.
He was.
You said he was weak-minded, eh? Okay, thank you for that. Thank you. But we are looking at Kabaka Mwanga, who never wanted to lose his power. And remember, there was even a prophecy that whoever will take his power will come from the east. That is why he saw Huntington coming in from the east, and he ordered for his murder. You understand? Okay, Angel. Angel.
The disagreement between the converts in the king's palace due to the religious beliefs also contributed to the religious wars.
Yes, thank you. Thank you. Disagreement, see, between the converts. Yes, even the converts themselves sometimes disagreed on certain issues. They could not actually, they were reading the same Bible, but they were interpreting it differently. Okay, Nolin, unmute. Nolin.
So what you just said is what I wanted to say, like wrong interpretation and understanding of the holy books. Like the Protestants could read something and they misunderstand it with what the Catholics have been taught. So that's where the religious source came from.
Yeah. Thank you for that. It is what actually I've been talking about. They were all reading the same, you know, holy book, but at the end of the day, they were interpreting it differently. And that one also contributed to the what? To the wars. Thank you for the contributions you've made. Okay, I have Jovia who said from the chat that the differences in liturgies of the four groups must have also confused their followers. Yes. Okay, thank you. Okay, I also have Adrini. You can unmute yourself. Adrin, waiting for you. Adrin, can you unmute yourself? Yes.
So my point is Mwanga's failure to control the foreigners in his court or the palace.
Mwanga's failure to control the foreigners, eh?
Yeah.
Okay, Mwanga's failure to control the foreigners. A moment, please. Okay, so we said Mwanga's failure to control the foreigners. I believe he controlled these people. A moment. Okay, so we've been talking about Mwanga, yes. Mwanga's failure, but I don't think he failed. I don't think he failed. Maybe he's the king. You can unmute yourself. Ashida Meria.
Yes.
Unmute yourself.
Okay. Imperial rivalry between France and Britain during the Scramble and Partition also led to the outbreak of wars between the Catholics and Protestants, respectively.
Sorry, you said internal?
Imperial rivalry between France and Britain during the partition and scramble also led to the outbreak of wars between Catholics and Protestants, respectively.
Oh, I think Ashel has been talking about the scrum and partition of us who were fighting in Africa. They were all fighting for Africa. Yeah, it has got something to do with that. Okay, I have Joylin.
The involvement of Ibeko in Buganda's politics also led to these wars. For example, in 1891, Captain Lugard armed the Protestants with 500 guns to fight the Catholics.
Thank you for that. Like fueling the wars. Yes, the wars had already started. The Imperial British East African Company, the Christians, 500 guns. You understand? Yes, that is true. Thank you for that. Okay, then there is Derek Mugisha. Derek Mugisha, unmute yourself. Mugisha is breaking. Mugisha is breaking. Okay. Oh, Mugisha, sorry, we couldn't actually hear you very well. You were breaking. And now, in the interest of time, allow me show you what I also have for you, and then we'll go on something different because I can see people's hands are still up, but again, time. Let us also try to look at this that I have for you, and then we'll look at something different. There is that point you've seen there, presence of several religious groups in Uganda at the same time. You understand? The traditionalists, the Muslims, the Catholics, the Protestants. Of course, these groups had to fight. There were many, okay? There were many, and they were all fighting for the same cause, like a dominance. So they had to fight. Okay, then we have this other point here. Yes, there is that one there. Each religion wanted to win as many converts as possible, which increased rivalry. As many converts as possible. And this increased what? Rivalry. So I think you can see, very precise and simple. There is that one there. Each religion wanted to win the favor of the Kabaka. In the favor of the Kabaka. In the end, each religion ended up talking evil of the other. I think you can see. Like each religion wanted to win in favor of the Kabaka. And someone has already given us that point. So we may not waste a lot of time there. So this is the Kabaka we are talking about. They wanted to win. They all wanted to be the favorites of the king. And this is the Kabaka Mwanga. You understand? Oh, I can see someone's hand up. Okay. Yes, someone using M7, I think. The hand has gone down. Okay, the hand has gone down. Okay, this is the Kabaka Mwanga we are talking about. Okay, Shina. Yes, Anime?
Teacher, I've not understood the last point.
The last point, let me try to repeat for you that last point. And the last point is all about Kabaka winning favor from the Kabaka. I think it is here. This one here. That each religion wanted to win the favor of the Kabaka. And in the end, each religion ended up talking evil of the other. Are you getting the point? Like each religion wants to be the Kabaka's favorite. And at the end of the day, they ended up talking evil of the other, fighting each other, in other words. Okay? So I think you've got the point. This is the Kabaka. We have already seen him there. Now there is this other point. Okay, let me first see from the chat here. Jovia was giving us a point here that the disagreements among the various pages at the King's Court also led, yes, among the different workers, yes. Then there was disagreements and then they ended up fighting. Then the Kabaka was Kabaka Mwanga, the son of Mutesa. Yes, son of Mutesa the first. Son of Mutesa the first. Okay. Yes, there is this other point here that Catholics accused the Protestants that they wanted Mwanga to accept the Imperial British East African Company because the company would help the Protestants against the Catholics. See, now this is a rumor, an accusation. Okay, Catholics were accusing the Protestants that they wanted Mwanga to accept the Imperial British East African Company. You understand it? And at the end of that, now the point I can point, the thing I can talk about here is Catholics, coming up and talk ill about them Protestants. Like they are saying the Protestants want the king to accept the Iberia call, such that the Iberia call would help the Protestants against the Catholics. You see? So it was an accusation which ended up leading into these religious wars. Then we have when Mwanga was exiled in Kabula, there was a rumor that he was with Mackay, okay, learning Protestantism, which annoyed the Catholics. You understand? So there was a time when Mwanga was exiled in Kabula, and then there was a rumor that Mwanga is somewhere learning Protestantism. You understand? And then the Catholics were against the Protestants. So this contributed to the wars. There is this other point here that is some leading Catholics, that's how it should have been, said it was better to fight than being ruled by the Protestants. Someone talked about this point, okay? That the Catholics never wanted to be under the Muslims. The Muslims never wanted to be under the Catholics. The Protestants never wanted to be under the Catholics. You understand? So it is a fight of dominance. You understand? Okay, I have Nazwa's hand up. Yes. Nazwa, may I hear from you? Nazwa, I can see your hand up. May I hear from you? Anyway, I don't know what's wrong with Nazwa, but I can see her hand up and she's not talking. Okay. Yes, there is this other point here. How Western religions were brought by rival colonial masters, i.e. Britain and France. Now there is an element of colonialism here. You get it? An element of colonialism. The British and the French were fighting, like they were competing for colonies in Africa. And at the end of the day, one group is brought by a group that is a rival team to the other. You understand? So the rivalry from colonialism also came into the different religions and it ended up leading to fights. You understand? So it had something to do with colonialism. Okay? Rivalry between the British and the French for colonies in Africa. Okay, Joylin was giving a point here from the chat. The murder of Bishop Huntington in Uganda in 1885, following the orders of Kabaka Mwanga, also angered the Christians who resorted to war in order to overthrow Mwanga. Yeah, it is true. We talked about this. And do you know the reason why Mwanga ordered the killing of Huntington? Of course, the moment he saw Huntington coming from the east, he realized that the prophecy had come true. Remember, there was a prophecy that whoever will take his power will come from the east. And this one was coming from eastern Uganda. And Mwanga thought, yes, indeed, Huntington was coming for his power. That is why he ordered for his killing. And it contributed him to these religious wars. There is that other point there. The religious conflicts in Europe between the Catholics and the Protestants were extended into colonies. Yes. Remember, the Catholics and the Protestants in Europe were also fighting. The Protestants opposed the Catholics. And at the end of the day, that one also came up to Africa. It was extended into Africa, where they had come to convert these Africans to Christianity. Okay, I'd seen a hand up, but I think it has gone down. Okay, again from the chat. Vivian is giving us a point from the chat. The Arab Muslims in Buganda increased the confusion in the kingdom because they kept on exerting pressure on Mwanga to expel Christian missionaries, thus causing war between the two. Yeah, of course there was a fight between the Muslims and the Christians. You understand? The Muslims had already come to the coast of East Africa. They were already in Uganda. They were trying to convert people to Islam. And at the same time, the Christians also came. They started fighting for, converts. The Muslims are fighting for converts. The Christians are fighting for converts. At the end of the day, these two groups kept on fighting for the different. Yes, there is that other point there. Okay, Warren, I can see your hand up. Oh, you've lowered it. Okay. And how we have this other point here, that Christianity condemned the traditional religion and customs. Okay. We are saying Christianity condemned the traditional religion and the customs which annoyed the traditionalists. Hence, the wars. Indeed, that is very true. Okay. Christianity and the way it looked at African traditional religion. They branded each and everything African satanic. And at the end of the day, this led to wars because Africans could not see their culture being, branded satanic. That's why they ended up fighting. Nazwa, you can unmute. Nazwa, I can see your hand up. Unmute.
Teacher, what do you mean by condemned?
Oh, condemned. Okay. Like going against. Okay, to go against something, you are condemning it. Okay. Then Miss Ghana, your hand is up. Unmute.
Teacher, I had a question in that point. Like Western really don't understand that point.
Which exact point are you talking about?
The Western religions were brought by rival colonial masters.
Oh, okay. Ms. Ghana talks about colonial masters bringing in these religions. What you should notice that France was a colonial master in Africa here, and Britain, another colonial master in Africa here. Now, France and Britain were rivaling for colonies in Africa. That rivalry was extended that rivalry, because we normally say that Christians majorly came from, Catholics majorly came from France, and then Protestants from Britain. Now, Britain and France were rival powers. They were rivaling for colonies in Africa. And yet these are the countries that are bringing in missionaries here in Africa. Now, the missionaries from Britain and the missionaries from France were fighting in Africa here, were fighting in East Africa here. Are you getting the point? And it had something to do with the colonial, it had something to do with the colonialism, rivaling for colonies in Africa. I don't know that I've tried to put that point right. It has got something to do with the colonialism. Powers rivaling for colonies in Africa, in East Africa. Protestants are rivaling, you understand, for colonies in Africa. Catholics are also rivaling for colonies in Africa. So the two groups are fighting. I think you are seeing that point there. Then we have this other point. Christianity or Christians did not want to be dominated by Muslims. Yes, that point has already been given. Workers in the palace belonged to different religious groups led by prominent and often jealous converts. We talked about that point also, that the different converts led the different people in the palace, and I mean that the converts, okay, led the converts interpreted this Holy Bible, the Holy books differently, and the converts were the leaders of the different groups of people in the palace. At the end of the day, the confusion they had, the confusion there in interpreting the Holy books differently also led to the wars. Okay, someone is, how do I join Google Classroom? Go to the website of Christian School Owners Association. Whoever wants to join Google Classroom, you go to the website of Christian School Owners Association. All you need is there. You'll find it there. Okay. There is this point here. Each religion wanted to win more political offices. We have already said that point. The death of Kabaka Mutesa, people have been giving this point. The death of Kabaka Mutesa, 1884, indeed contributed him to the religious wars, because it left a power vacuum that was occupied by Mwanga, who was unpredictable, and it contributed to them religious wars. And there is Kabaka Mutesa the first, okay? The death of Kabaka Mutesa the first, I think you can see Kabaka Mutesa the first, who died in 1884, and then succeeded by his unpredictable son Mwanga, who actually fueled these religious wars. Mutesa was a diplomat. Mutesa could handle the different religious groups, unlike Mwanga. Okay. Hey, someone wants to know the meaning of prominent. Prominent. Which word, which other English word should I use here? When you again, it is not being successful. I mean, known, known. I don't know which other English word that I can suitably use here, but take it to be known, famous, something like that. Okay. Yes, there is this other point here. The rise of Kabaka Mwanga, who was young and lacked experience. Yes, Kabaka Mwanga, we've talked a lot about him, okay, and how he contributed to Mwanga's character, he was a young, erratic, proud, and arrogant. Erratic, meaning unpredictable. You understand? Proud and arrogant. He was not compromising. You understand? Uncompromising. Okay, Shina, I can see your hand up. Shina?
Excuse me.
Yes.
Excuse me.
Yes.
I just wanted to know the difference between Kabaka Mutesa 1 and 2.
Oh, Mutesa 1 and 2.
Yeah.
Now the difference. I don't know how can I answer this. The difference. Of course, that way are different. Okay, that way are different, and Mutesa 1 died in 1884, and then Mutesa 2 took over power, I think, in 19. Mutesa 2 he was even the first president of Uganda. So what you can notice that there was Mutesa 1, and then later on, after different successive kings, there was also another Kabaka known as Mutesa II, who was even the first president of Uganda. Okay. Oh, another person's hand was up, I think. This is Nantumbwe. Yes, Nantumbwe?
Teacher, I just wanted to ask how old was Kabaka Mwanga to rule?
Well, by the time he took over power, 1885, 84, I have to first go back and find out the year in which he was born, but all we know, he took over power in 1885. I will find out the year he was born and then come back to you. Okay, but some of these questions might not be important because no one will ask you how old was Kabaka Mwanga. Okay, from the chat, send. Oh, people, I told you the work is going to be sent. The work is going to be uploaded to a Google Classroom. Don't worry about that, okay? And someone doesn't even know that topic. In Natsubuga, we are looking at religious wars in Buganda. Okay. In the interest of time, let me rush here. The killing of Bishop Huntington. Someone has talked about this. Yes, when Huntington was killed, it increased the rivalry. Okay, against, of course, the king and the traditionalists. Then the ordering for the killing of the early converts by Kabaka Mwanga led it was still. Of course, we are talking about the matters, Uganda matters. The killing of these Uganda matters, 3rd June 1886, also contributed or accelerated the religious wars. Okay, you know the religious matters. Now, from there, we also have to look at the course of these wars. We have to look at the course of these wars before. Yeah, we've got something like 17 minutes to look at the course of these wars, and I don't know. Okay, now you people, the other time I told you, when we are talking about the course of anything, just have it in your mind that the course is just a story, but a story that is broken down in points. The moment you write this story, not broken down in different paragraphs, you won't get the point, the marks. You might end up getting 1 mark for the full page because you've not broken down your story into paragraphs. So the course is a story. How did it start? You understand? Who participated in it? Okay. How many people died in it? When did it end? Who ended it? Are you getting the point? So that is what we call the course. So here we want to narrate a story of these religious wars, how they started, blah, blah. So I can see someone is, okay, Nantumbo, your hand is up. Can you unmute?
Teacher?
Yes.
There is a I don't differentiate between the meaning of cause and cause. As you have said here, the religious wars and the cause.
Cause and cause. Okay. Nantumbe wants to know the difference between cause and cause or causes. Causes are reasons for the outbreak of these wars, causes. But the cause, we are looking at, we are narrating a story. We want to know how it started. We are narrating a story, in other words. Are you getting the point? We are not giving causes. We are not giving reasons for the outbreak of the wars, but we are narrating a story. Okay, so I think I've tried to answer that. Okay, someone was actually helping us to answer that by that time Kabaka Mwanga was 19 years. Someone, but again, when you say he was born in 1860s, okay, someone is saying Kabaka Mwanga was born in 1866 and in 1885. Okay, someone is telling us he was 19 years, but are these 19 years? Yes, I think 19 years. Yes. Okay, assuming this is the right year in which he was born. Thank you for that. Okay, now let us try to narrate a story about the course. I believe people might not be in a position to help me here. I would have asked for some contributions from that side. But remember the course, when we are narrating, when we are giving the course, okay, we begin from the events that came first. The events that came first. You don't bring the event that came last as point number one. No, it should be the event that came first. Jovia, your hand is up. Are you contributing about the course?
Yes, teacher.
Yes, you can give us.
When Mutesa died in 1884, his 18-year-old son Mwanga was installed as a new king.
Okay.
On top of being young and experienced, Mwanga was emotional and weak-minded.
Okay. Okay. Thank you for that observation. She has started from the time when Mutesa I died, 1884, and then Mwanga came in, and the story was continuing that Mwanga was young, emotional, inexperienced. Yeah, the story was continuing. That version can also be taken. I have Maria.
Teacher, the religious wars were conflicts between the different religious groups in Buganda, the Muslims, Protestants, Catholics, and the traditionalists.
Yes. Yes, thank you for that. And of course, that is what I would wish someone to begin with. When we are looking at the course, I would wish someone to begin with such a point. Thank you for that contribution. Maria.
Teacher, the religious wars were also known as the Wafaransa-Wangereza Wars because of the involvement of the Catholics from France and the Protestants from England.
Yes, thank you so much. That would be point number 2. That would be point number 2. Thank you so much. Then I have Vivian.
Teacher, I think that the religious wars were the unhealthy competition, rivalry, and mistrust in Buganda Kingdom among the Catholic, Protestant, Muslims, and traditionalists.
Yes, thank you for that. That one is also another good statement to begin with. Another good statement to begin with. Thank you so much. Someone is asking which subject. When we are even winding up, it is history. Okay. Okay. Now let me try to share with you this information here. Of course, This is how we are beginning. The wars are at times referred to as the Waingereza wa Faransa wars. We have already said that, and someone has explained that for us, simply because the Wafaransa are Catholics and then the Waingereza are Protestants. Wars between the Protestants and the Catholics. Then there is another statement there that in 1875, H.M. Stanley and John Speak appeared at Kabaka's court, and Kabaka Mutesa the first sent a letter to the Queen of England inviting Christian missionary groups to Uganda. So I think you can see how we are beginning our story. We have not started with the wars. We've started with giving a preamble. How did the wars start? When did the people that were fighting came in? Are you seeing? And that is why we are saying in 1875, we're back. H.M. Stanley and John Speak appeared at the Kabaka's court, and then Kabaka later on gave them a letter to the Queen, asking the Queen to send missionaries here in Uganda to convert his people. We don't have time. In the interest of time, okay, Maria.
Teacher, in 1877, the first group of missionaries who were the Protestants arrived in Uganda, and these were the Wangereza.
Yes, thank you so much, and I think that is going to be my next statement there. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Then I have Jovia.
Teacher, Kabaka was born in 1866.
This one is also giving us another version, that 1856. Now, it was not, whoever gave us the other thing in the chat, I don't know whether you had made some research. Me, I won't actually argue about that. You make your own research that side and then you find out. Okay. People asking, will I find the notes in the book? Yes, you are going to find the notes there. Don't worry about that. Okay. Now we have this other point here. Okay, before the point, actually, remember we are talking about H.M. Stanley and then John Speak appearing. So this is our H.M. Stanley, as you can see. H.M. Stanley, who appeared, who came in 1875. Then I also have John Speak here, because these two came together, H.M. Stanley and John Speak. They came together 1875 to Uganda, and they were given a letter by the Kabaka to have the missionaries here in Uganda. Then there is this other statement that in response, Protestant missionaries arrived in Uganda in 1877 when the Church Missionary Society came, led by Reverend C.T. Wilson and Alexander Mackay. Okay, Reverend C.T. Wilson and Alexander Mackay. So these are the Protestants that came in later when Kabaka Mutesa had when Kabaka Mutesa invited them. Then the Roman Catholic Church also arrived 2 years later in 1879, led by Father Lodell and Brother Ammons. We are still giving an introduction. Before the wars, we have to look at the people that we are fighting. Okay, they come in first and then the wars begin. Wars cannot begin when these people have not yet arrived. So we have these two Christian factions started competing for political influence at the Kabaka's court. Yes, we have already talked about this information. This was the situation which Kabaka Mwanga found after succeeding his father Mutesa the first, who died in 1884. Okay, Nantumo, your hand is up.
Teacher, you have just extremely mentioned what I was going to ask, that how can you start? What if you start with the introduction? But I've known this was all about the introduction.
Yes, in the course, normally what we do, we begin by introducing, okay? Because you cannot begin with wars when you have not talked about the fighting. Then Noeline, your hand is up also.
Teacher, I just wanted to ask, like, if the Protestant missionaries, they came after H.M. Stanley taking the letter to England. Now, what about the Roman Catholic missionaries? Did they also come like by invitation or they just came by themselves?
The letter that was written by Mutes, by the Kabaka, was only inviting missionaries from Britain. But I think those ones from France came by themselves, okay? Yeah. Okay. Then in Natumbo, your hand is up again. Your hand is up again in Natumbo, or you didn't know it? Okay, we don't have time. Let us try to wind up. We are trying to wind up. We don't have time. We have only 5 minutes to wind up. There is this other point here, that the Arab and Muslim faction in Buganda took advantage of the long stay in Buganda to warn the Kabaka Mwanga that the Christians wanted to take over his kingdom. I think you can now see how the wars started. After now we've seen these groups coming in. Now the Arabs who are already here in Buganda warned the Kabaka that the Catholics who are coming, okay, the Christians, the Christians who are coming, those ones who are invited, have got plans of taking over your kingdom. Then there is that other point. Mwanga responded by punishing those who refused to denounce the new religion. Remember, we had some people that had been converted to Christianity. Now, the moment the Arabs warned the Kabaka that the Christians had come to take over your kingdom, your powers, then the Kabaka forced the people that had been converted to denounce Christianity. When they refused it, then he ordered for the killing of some. Then Bishop Huntington was murdered during the crisis on Mwanga's orders in 1885. You understand? Remember, Muslims have already warned him that the Christians have come to take over the power. You understand? So he's now fighting against the Christians because he has been warned. And I think this was not right, but because the Muslims also wanted to be the Kabaka's favorites. Then we have that other point. On 3rd June 1886, many more early Christian converts were burnt at Namugongo for their refusal to denounce religion. This came to be known as Uganda Matters. Maria, your hand is up. Oh, you've lowered it. Okay, Miss Ghana, your hand is up.
Teacher, I just want to ask, when they asked us like to find the course of religious wars, like you told us we have to narrate it. Yes?
Sorry? Come again?
If they told us to find the course of to know or to state the course of religious wars, you told us that we have to narrate it.
We have to
narrate it.
I'm actually not getting that word, the last word.
Like it's like a story, it's like a history. We have to write, we don't have to write it in paragraphs. You told us like that.
That we don't have to write paragraphs?
Yeah, we just have to narrate it.
No, I didn't actually say you don't have to write paragraphs. I was actually saying that you have to give us paragraphs. It is a story, but broken it down in different paragraphs. That's what I say. And you can see we are narrating the story, one paragraph following the other. There is some chronology in this story, one event leading to the other. Are you getting the point? Events must be leading to the other, one event leading to the other, one event to the other. So it is chronological. That is what I wanted to mean. The time I can see. Okay. I don't know that Josh, I can see your hand is up. Okay, you've lowered it. You've lowered it. There is this other point here. Continued instability. Kabaka Mwanga planned to chase away all the religious factions from Buganda, i.e. Christians and Muslims. Yes, by the way, even the Muslims that had reported to the Kabaka that the Christians had come to take his power, Mwanga planned to also chase them away, but it did happen. But they discovered his plans and they combined him to overthrow Mwanga. Thereafter, they installed it Wewa. Kiwewa was one of the kings installed. But of course, what you should note in Buganda, you can't become a king unless the incumbent has died. Mwanga was still alive, and then they installed Kiwewa. So there was a problem there. Now, for refusal to be circumcised, he was overthrown and Kalema was installed. Then the Muslims started persecuting to Kabula in Ankole. Now here we are saying Chiwewa refused to be circumcised because he was installed by the Muslims, and then they installed the Kalema. Okay. Okay. Then we have this other statement that the Catholics came under Nyonyintono Honorat, while the Protestants came under Abrokab. Of course, they had gone to Kabula and then they came back later under Nyonyintono. Then we have this other statement that the Christian factions came back and deposited the Muslims. Mwanga was reinstated with a lot of Catholic sympathy in 1890. Yes. Remember, I told you we are narrating a story. There is that other statement in the same year, 1890, Captain Frederick Lugard arrived in Uganda as a representative of the Ibeaco. He used the Protestant missionaries to influence Mwanga to sign treaties. Yes. So there is Captain Lugard, you can see. Then after Captain Lugard coming in, we are saying he armed the Christians. And who, okay, he gave guns to the Christians who had gone to Bunyoro to come back and fight the Muslims that had taken over power in Uganda. Then Lugard continued to tour around Ankole, and when he returned to Uganda, he found the Catholics and the Protestants fighting for influence at the Kabaka's court. Then Mwanga, of course, at the time supported the Catholics. Then Lugard armed the Protestants with 500 guns, and they there ensured the battles of Mengo, which are usually referred to as the Waingereza wa Faransa wars. Then where the Wafaransa stands for Catholics, Waingereza stands for Protestants, and the Protestants won the wars. After the wars, another treaty was signed with Mwanga, and it marked the beginning of Protestant hegemony in the politics of Buganda and the whole of Uganda that was later formed. The whole of Uganda. Buganda was divided between the Protestant, Catholics, Muslims, Protestants. Okay, so this is all the information. Now, this is how you are supposed to give your answers when asked to give the course about something. We have narrated the story, but a story in a chronological order. You understand it? So when you are told to give to describe a course of a certain event, please be chronological. Begin with an event that came first to the event that came last. So for now, we've come to the end of this lesson, and but next time we will be picking up from here and see what will be. Okay, from the chat, okay, from the chat, some people are thanking me. Then, yes. Okay, so today we are ending here. Thank you so much for listening to me. Thank you so much for your time, and have a good day and a blessed week. Yes. Okay, good day from the chat. People are thanking me. You are welcome. You are welcome. Those someone's okay, please bye, and you are welcome. Whoever is thanking me, you are welcome. Winnie Mugabe, I think this is a conclusive remark. Yes, Winnie Mugabe.
But sir, some of us have just joined.
Oh, you've just joined. Now, if you've just joined, don't worry. This session has been recorded. You can find it on YouTube. Okay. What you do, you only go and visit the Christian School Owners Association. Okay. You go to YouTube and then visit the Christian School Owners Association. You will find this video there. And again, I'm also going to upload the notes on the Google Classroom, so you will not have missed anything. Okay. So for now, we are ending here. Mr. Charles, I don't know that you have anything for our runners before we get off. Okay, from the chat.
Yes, Teacher Busuulwa. It's okay,
Yes,
thank you so much for the lesson. I do not have much, only that I encourage them to join the Google Classroom so that they find all the resources there. Thank you so much.
You are welcome.